name is Anna Wilson, and today I will be comparing the two short stories, Battle Royal by Ralph Ellison and Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been by Joyce Carol Oates. I chose these two stories because at face value, they don't really seem to have a lot in common, but as you delve into the topic and into the reading a little bit further, they actually have a lot in common. So both the narrator in Battle Royal and Connie in Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been face older, more powerful men, and they witness the mistreatment and objectification of women. And I argue that because of these events that they're going through and these scenes, they learn about adult values that serve as a journey of initiation. So both stories, the narrator and Connie, are very naive. Our narrator in Battle Royal doesn't really understand racism at all until later in life, and in that moment he's so focused on giving his speech that he doesn't really look into it any further. Susan Blake, in her piece Ritual and Rationalization, says, "The Battle Royal reflects the limitation of blackness in the face of white power." And I think this is very easily shown in this because our narrator doesn't really pay attention to it. Connie, similarly, doesn't understand that the guys that she's talking to are predators, they're dangerous, and she doesn't understand what she's getting herself into. One really interesting factor to both of these stories is that both the narrator and Connie are placed higher than their predators or the people that are demeaning them. So our narrator is placed in the boxing ring higher up, and as soon as he surrenders and kind of brings himself down to their level, he is on the carpet that is electrified, or he is giving the speech right in front of them. So he is on their level. Similarly, Connie is on the porch for the entire story, talking to Arnold, and as soon as she surrenders to him, she steps off the porch as well. So this really shows their journey of initiation. They start out as these naive characters, and as they go through these different events, they are kind of brought down and humbled a little bit and see that the world isn't as innocent as they once thought. And for Connie especially, she has these two different worlds in her mind, her home life and then her social life. And she's never really thought about her morals and who she is as a person. And so Christina Gillis, in her piece Seduction, Space, and a Fictional Mode, says, "Arnold's appearance only undermines the confused merging of two worlds Connie has always kept apart." And I believe that this really shows because from one area of her home life, she's just, oh, I'm home, and she's comfortable. And then in the other, she's comfortable in this dangerous situation that she doesn't realize, and when they merge together, it kind of freaks her out a bit. Each of the characters also have the same response to the events of initiation as well. For our narrator, on page 285, he held on trying to catch his breath, and on page 661, Connie, her breath starts to jerk back and forth. Even though they're going through very different situations, they both react in the same nervous state. For our narrator, he is against the rope trembling on page 284 in this kind of claustrophobia state of mind. And for Connie, she is backed up against the kitchen table on page 661, while her fingers shake on page 660. Blindness is also another image pattern that we see throughout these two stories as well. Our narrator in Battle Royal is physically blindfolded while he's in the boxing ring. And for Connie, her blindness isn't so physical, but Ellie conceals himself so that she isn't able to see who he really is, and she's blinded from that as well. Another interesting aspect to both of these stories that I really enjoyed looking into a little further was the use of the word hollow. So in Battle Royal, our narrator on page 283 describes the stripper with the eyes hollow, and then on page 284 that she had a detached expression on her face. For Connie, she was hollow with what had been fear, but was now just an emptiness. She thought for the first time in her life that it was nothing that was hers, and that is on page 662. So both of these stories show that when women give themselves up like that, they're empty. They don't have the morals that they once had anymore. And for Connie, this is even more difficult because she's going through that adolescent stage of trying to find herself as well. They are going to make poor decisions if they keep doing this as well. The morals that they form help them make those decisions, and once they have that emptiness and nothing to hold on to that's theirs, they tend to have some poor decisions. Stephen Slimp, in Oates' Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been, says, "Connie has achieved a depth of spirit in the way most human beings do, through the experience of enlightenment and a proper ordering of one's relationship to the world." And that is on page 181 of his work. And this again shows that her worlds are coming together, and she's seen that the world is not an innocent place. So, In conclusion, through a variety of different events, these stories have a lot in common in that both of the characters face older, more powerful men who demean them, and that they face the degradation of women. So I argued that those aspects of that really bring them into a more adult mindset, so that they journey through this initiation and end up with a more adult-like mind and see that the world isn't as innocent as they once believed. Thank you.